Jonesy, a fantastic weekend of racing, and you know what, mate? What makes it even better is we've got a little pot with our good friends at NEDS this weekend. I cannot wait.
Yeah, looking forward to it, mates. We did well for the punters and drifters last time, so hopefully we can get that done again. Super easy, just jump on your NEDS app and you'll see it in bright, shiny lights. The Underwood Stakes Day, Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes Day pot. Cannot wait. Some great racing, mate. Some good sport. Going to be a hell of a weekend.
Yeah. God bless Seeples and the Brisbane Lions. Gamble with NEDS this weekend. Join the pot. Follow us in and gamble responsibly.
But what is gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
Your question. Be curious, drifters.
Allegron's won the Brisbane Cup, but it's all Antino. Blake Shin, take a bow. Barraquil, Benny Allen hasn't moved.
Broadside in Bog, won the Golden Rose.
Pride of Jenny, trying to find the reserves at the 100. She's 3 in front of Mr. Brightside. It's all too late. Pride of Jenny has run them into the night. Switch on the big winner. By 2.5 Bellatrix Star.
He's down, Jolly Star. She is a star in the making. Jolly Star bolts in.
It's all Isthmus. She's very smart and fast.
All right, no fucking around here. We've just got about 35 minutes in and technology's let us down. So, off the top, you're sick. Let's get you some soup. You'll be fine. Save your strength for this weekend. We have a hosted pod with the good people at NEDS for Underwood Stakes Day and Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes Day. Log into your NEDS app. You'll see if you're there early enough, you might have a little surprise as well if you do join us. But hell of a lot of fun last time. Hell of a fill up. Anything to add?
No, I think you've nailed it. We're already at, 10 grand for the pot, so... Yeah, log into your NEDS app, dive in responsibly.
Yeah, God bless us. So let's no fucking around here. Let's go to Caulfield again. So rails out 6 metres. The weather's looking pretty okay. I'd say it'll remain in the the good 4 range throughout the day. Rather in the 6 metres. Last time that happened, it was the 15th of March, and there was 6 leaders at the 400 metres that went on to win the races, so no disadvantage to be on speed. Caulfield Guineas Prelude, Group 3, 1,400 metres for the 3-year-olds at set weights and penalties. Previous winners, Angel Capital, Stapadiaf, Cabin, Lightsaber, Crosshaven and Helmet was actually the last winner of this race in 2011. Any strong opinions here?
No, we were talking about number 4, Bingy or Bingy. Binger, Australian fast bowler. At a price, $11 with the good people at NEDS at the moment. Just because, this race looks pretty subpar, and I think its form around Planet Red, Crossbow, and the likes of looks pretty good and draws a nice gate, so hopefully gets a good ride with Saki Spain on board with the nose roll gang.
Yeah, well said. Race 6 is the Jim Maloney Stakes, 1,400 metre listed for the 3-year-old fillies at set weights and penalties level. Very similar, I feel, this race. Previous to the previous winners of the race is Lilac, Oz Empress, Waltz On By, Queen of Dubai, and Odium. And I thought this was very similar, potentially Vivid Sun, the 350, near enough to favourite here for Moody Coleman. Race-to-race double looks very much on the cards. Impressive midweek winner.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the look of Vivid Sun as well. Also, number 10, Lathlane for Trent Buston and Natalie Young. Daughter of Seamus Award, won impressively on debut on a heavy deck. And I feel the Seamus Award progeny prefer to be on top of the ground. So if we get a nice, good 4, I think this horse can run a nice race at a decent price. So, yeah, Vivid Sun and Lathlane for me.
Yeah, well said, mate. It's like, I feel like, I'm going around in circles hearing all this insight but for the second time. But the Underwood Stakes, race 7 on the program, on the Drift Underwood Stakes, Group 1 level, 1,800 metres at weight for age level. you have a very short price favourite in Sir Delius here at $2 from barrier 11. Needs a good ride from Craig. Are your chips in?
Oh, look, it's a short price, $2 for him, but I think he wins. You've already got a ticket for a much better price, so you're all good. You can watch and just cheer. But yeah, there doesn't look anything likely for me. I liked his run in the Chelmsford where he just missed out to Lindemann. He was wide the trip and a mile's, not suitable. He's going to get better out over further. And I think the Caulfield track will suit his style of racing. He'll be sort of forward of midfield. It's just a bit of a tricky draw with Craig on top. Buckaroo's the obvious one who, is in the money here and ran super, resuming, running into third, and he won this race last year. But he's going to be back from that gate, and it's going to take a hell of a ride from Blakey Bill to get him over the top. I think he needs everything set up and perfectly in his way to fall his way in order to win. So happy to risk him. I think Sir Delius is the one. He's just an awfully short Mick Price.
Yeah, and we also made the point in the previous podcast that none of you will ever hear is that when Buckaroo was very impressive in winning this third up last year, he was third up into that contest after racing from 14, 16 to 18. So he misses a run here. He was in a very fastly run Memsey Stakes as well, so maybe that'll offset it, but I think he'll be half a run short. So Delius is faster than pretty much all of these, I think. The only one who I could see improving is Moira, who is fourth up here. I think she turns the table on Desert Lightning as she gets out into this sort of distance range. Drawn perfect with Frosty on, and third up has a pretty solid record as well. Well performed in the US, which definitely reads well for a race like this. So at the price, I wonder whether we'll bet the pot. Race 8 is the NEDS Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes, 1,400 metres, Group 1 handicap. We were thinking that this was just a two-horse contest, really, between Seeples and Angel Capital, two favourites of ours.
Yeah, both horses I've got a lot of time for. We've got a lot of time for, particularly Seeples. Post-pot winnings a couple of weeks ago. Pissed off with the draw, like I said on the last podcast that is in the ether now. Gate 13 for Angel Capital, gate 16 for Seeples. Angel Capital will probably go back anyway. Hopefully there's enough pace on for him to run well with Frosty on board. Seeples, would you think from gate 16, Craig has to show some initiative and try and find a spot?
Well, that's what I said last time, so I may as well keep the same opinion this time as well. And you asked the very astute question as well: is do you want to sedately run 1,400 metres into a contest like this where there could be a bit more genuine tempo with the likes of Zerastro and the like going forward, or would you prefer the more genuinely run 1,200 metre contest that Angel Capital saw?
Yeah. You'd probably want a more genuine contest, I think, particularly if you're stepping from 12 to 14. But look, I think they have looked to have pretty similar ability, both Angel Capital and Seeples. So I think it's going to come down to luck and running. But those two are incredibly likely for me. Like there's a few other horses in the race who might run well. Mr. Mbini I was on last start, and she's lightly weighted with 52 kilos and just missed against Magic Time. But I think those two horses, Angel Capital and Seeples, look to be Group 1 weight for age standard, so happy to be with them. Both of them are really lightly weighted, so just got to flip the coin.
Yeah. Well, what do? Take two in the quaddie or make it a bit wider?
Oh, look, I think you take two in the quaddie and and just put your cards on the table and have a shot at the big time.
It's worked for us before. All right, the Naturalism, race 9 in the program, 2,000 metres handicap. Previous winners here, Positivity, Uncle Bryn, Smoke and Romans, Nonconformist, Order of the Garter, no stars. Yeah, I thought this was a tough contest. Does look like Birdman's probably going to be going this way, so he probably looks the logical bet. Can run on a bit, I will say. Needs to start chalking up some wins, I would have thought.
Yeah, can run on a bit. I'm happy to back him, though. Like, I feel he's been really good this prep, and finds a nice race, a nice winnable race here, Birdman. But all of these horses that we know as stayers and can stretch out over further, they like to take turns, which is the only concern. Not the only concern. There's plenty more than that. But geez, half yours, $2.20 as the first emergency. It's pretty short.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous price. I think that's awfully short. I think he'll run a race, but you're taking him on trust from essentially what was one win in a Caloundra Cup against Bear on the Loose. So, yeah, what did Alex Turner say? Don't believe the hype. So, yeah, that's one. I think River of Stars could potentially bounce back here. Exceptional record racing into the top 3. I think she'll go forward from that barrier, or I hope she does. Back on top of the ground is a plus. Improved second up as well, and stepping up into this distance range. I think she runs top 3 River of Stars at an each way price.
Sheesh.
Okay, I think that's all she wrote at Caulfield. At Randwick, what do we got here? Pretty much pretty solid weather, and the rail is out 7 metres from the 1,600 metres to the winning post and 4 metres the remainder. Last time I had that, I believe it was no disadvantage to be on speed as well, so check your local speed maps. Race 5 is the Kingston Town, 2,000 metres, Group 3 at set weights and penalties. Elias, Just Fine, Allegron, She's Ideal, Taikamochi, Finch and Avilius have won this race previously, so a good horse's race. You team Elamaz or Vauban or Arapaho, or what are you doing here?
It's a tricky one. I think Vauban's likely, but he's short enough. Elamaz is an interesting one. I probably need to look into its form a bit more, but really liked its win last start before they sort of tipped it out for a bit of a short break heading into the spring. 55 kilos, and J-Mac doesn't ride for this stable often, so I found that interesting. Pretty short at $4.60, but you know, again, these sort of staying types, they like to take turns. He's a slightly fresh one on the scene with a pretty formidable record. So, yeah, maybe Elamaz for me.
Yeah. Arapaho, I think he's a bettable price here at about $7. He does meet Vauban and the like a kilo worse at the weight, so you have to take that into consideration. He did get the kissed on the penis run last time. Potentially that brutally run Sydney Cup has taken a little bit of the speed out of his legs, but he is still awfully consistent. Because he was very good first up in the Winx, but he probably regressed a little bit. Second up, maybe it was the heavy track, maybe it was that Sydney Cup, who knows? But third up here, I think he does improve. He's probably my on-top selection with not a lot of confidence. Elamaz, as you talked to, probably the improver and up-and-comer, where for this type of race, you know, isn't a negative. All right, let's go to race 6 where we got to last time. All right. Cross our fingers, cross our toes that doesn't happen again. But race 6, the T Rose Stakes Group 2, 1,400 metres for the 3-year-old fillies at set weights. as I said last time, have a listen to this on a roll. Autumn Glow, Tis Invincible, Zoo Gotcha, 4 Moves Ahead, Dame Giselle, Funstar, Miss Fabulous, Elise and Fox Play. Mate, only good horses win this race.
That's a nice on a roll, absolutely. I'm happy to be with Apocalyptic. Like, I think it's pretty straightforward. I was on her last start. She was sort of fresh one on the scene. We spoke about the 2-year-olds and the transition that they make into 3-year-olds, and do we want to be with them? Well, she was super last start, and I don't see why she can't win again here. So happy to be with Apocalyptic. Have a shilling each way on number 11, Enviable, the daughter of Frankel. She's coming out of midweek grade where she's run third a couple of times, but apparently has oodles of talent. She's $61 with the good people at NEDS, so worth a shilling.
Yeah, I wonder where you've got that insight from. I was quite taken by Tupakara. That was, I thought she was very, very good, and J-Mac retaining the ride should get a better run in transit for Barrier 3 as well. Blinker's first time, which I think is not insignificant. But Apocalyptic, as you said, was awfully, awfully good. So I think it's between those two. Tell you what, Within the Law cannot draw a barrier to save her goddamn life.
No, she can't.
And she's a bit of a Goldilocks horse because, again, you'll remember in the slipper, she doesn't like being on the fence inside of horses. She gets spooked a bit. So barrier 11 is better than barrier 1, but still, like, give her a barrier 5, would you please? So I think it's between the top two. Yeah, probably leaning at the price to Tupakara. Thought that was a really nice return. Okay, the Bill Ritchie's race 7, Group 3, 1,400 metres, handicap. So previous winners of this race, sorry to bring it up, mate, but McHale won this at 80-1, knocking off Gringotts last year. Redina the year before, and, he was winning that on his way to an Epsom. Top ranked the year prior to that, he won an Epsom. Tissue's a Group 1 winner. Probabil's won an Epsom, and Colding's won an Epsom. So Epsom winners come through this race.
Yeah, they do.
So does the Epsom winner exist here? Probably not, with Autumn Glow going to start about $1.50 in that race.
Yeah, she will. I'm happy to be with number 4, Pasusto. I had a few shillings on him in the Stradbroke, and he started sort of $12 to $15. And he ran okay, but maybe the trip over to New Zealand and the trip to Queensland will sort of be the making of this horse as a 4-year-old horse. In the spring, I'm liking these sort of late maturing 3-year-olds who've got a fair bit of experience now and starting to develop and mature into their 4-year-old year. So happy to be with Pasusto at $6.50. And mostly because, I couldn't possibly take McHale at $3.90, number 9. So, happy to be with Pasusto.
You yellow bricked up at all, or?
He ran well first up.
He was second in the Stradbroke.
Second in the Straddy. He can run well at a good price.
Yeah, and I think he'll improve getting onto good ground as well. I think they've tried. I reckon they've tried it a couple of times going to Sydney, and it's just not kind of panned out for him. But I think he's from that first up run. I think he's looking a bit more trusting. He does carry the top weight here, but there's no absolute superstars. So what I will say is, if they go this way with Royal Patronage, I do think he's a bet. That horse can carry weight and he'll go forward, and he's just an absolute bulldog as well. But, in the emergencies, looking extremely unlikely. I just don't get why these well-handicapped horses or these well-rating horses are in the emergencies these days. You know what I mean?
I don't get it either.
We saw Steffi last week. It just doesn't really make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, the 7 stakes, race 8. So I think Fangirl and Think It Over have won this race. So young in its history. You have Cheer Wolf from Barrier 3, Light Infantry Man, Private Eye, Royal Patronage, Gringotts, Linda Mann, Kovalika. Wonder if he's heading towards another Epsom this year or something. Militarize, Cadaver, Half Yours, and Fangirl. Fangirl, the 270 favourite. Should go out and win this, or you just sticking with your boy?
Oh, I've got to stick with my boy Gringotts, yeah. Gets a nice gate, dry deck. I thought he was good enough first up. Had excuses, so yeah, he's the one for me. He's $6 for the good people in Neds. Happy to dive in. Fangirl, yeah, could brain them, absolutely. Dry deck back to Sydney. Gets J-Mac, has a nice draw. She could absolutely win, but you can have her at that price. Do you know who wouldn't shock? Everyone's jumped off. Now you get a price about him. He draws a gate third up. Is Cheerwolf. He can run on a bit. He's no one of mine. But if you weren't on him last start and you don't have your fingers burned, you're thinking maybe this is the time I get out of the casino. I think he's a better chance on Saturday from a better draw. Cheerwolf. He just needs pace on, and I just don't think he's going to get that more often than not in our weight for age races because they're pussies. So that's why he's desperate for Pride of Jenny to come back. Bro should have skipped this and just gone to the fan. Because apparently that's when she's coming back. So yeah, Gringotts happy to have a bet at $6.
I think it will be a bit more genuine potentially. I completely forgot that Royal Patronage went to Sha Tin in the Champions Mile with Mr. Brightside. That's news to me. So, but he'll likely go forward, probably with Linda Mann, and Gringotts, is always positive, but doesn't typically lead up his fields, and you could say the same about Private Eye. So I think it'll probably be there'll be more pace in this than what he got in the Chelmsford last start, which is a positive. And there's going to be one less horse in the field, so there's one less horse that will potentially get in his way. He did draw barrier 2 there too, so you're right. Cheerwolf, he might be one of those horses as well that just gets better into his prep too. And you see it all the time. I think last year you were making the point around the Nisham horse that started favouring the Q22 and won it the year prior.
Faulkner Park.
Yeah. He just takes an age to get into his prep. So he might be one of those, and third up here after 2 trials before his first up run, he could be in the finish here. So I don't know. I don't know which way I'm going. It'll either be Gringotts or Cheerwolf, I reckon. Happy to take on Fangirl. If she wins, so be it.
Yeah, so we're pretty much on the same page for that one.
Mate, tell you what, the shorts is a hell of an honour roll as well. So 1,100 metres, set weights penalties, Group 2 level. Previous winners were all over Iron Me last year. Private Eye the year prior, Nature Strip, Eduardo, Classic Legend, Pirata, Ball of Muscle, Red Zell. So I'm counting
some fast horses.
I'm counting 1, 2, 3 Everest winners in the honour roll alone. So now, you're a big Private Harry fan, I believe.
I am.
You're happy to be on him here?
Geez, I didn't think he'd come up so short. I thought he'd be, high threes with, Briasa and Jolly, similar, maybe a bit lower. But I think we're looking at that price because of a couple of things. One, he's a 4-year-old horse, and the 4-year-old horses are all the rage at the moment. Secondly, he's undefeated. And thirdly, he's been trialling a bomb. And he looks like he's put on some serious kegs. Sometimes that's not a good thing, but I think in his case, I think it'll prove to be a good thing. I think he wins this race. I think he makes a statement, Private Harry. You just don't know how good these horses are when they're undefeated. For him to win the Galaxy like he did, fresh, was super impressive. So I'm happy to be on him. Briasa, I think, has got a lot of improvement to come. Like, it's a horse who is still lightly raced and I think could press forward from that gate too. So I wouldn't be surprised if Briasa runs super and maybe wins. But Jolly Star, like scratched last week, announced as the Everest slot holder, running in this, draws awkwardly. I don't know. Just something about that horse and that stable at the moment just sort of pissed me off. But yeah. Mahona was the other one at a big price, the Golden Slipper winner. Obviously, there's a Slipper curse. Talk about it every year. But she's super lightly raced and she's a big price. I like the way Tempted won last week. So I might have a bet on Private Harry and just a little shilling on Mahona in case she runs super.
Yeah. I think at the set weights and penalties, I don't think she's weighted that well. At 55 kilos either. We were saying the exact same thing about Lady of Camelot last year. And Lady of Camelot got an Everest slot after that. So I'd say the intentions are pretty clear there with the 3-year-old filly. So I agree. Like Briasa and Private Harry went up against each other first up in the Galaxy. Briasa finished fourth there with me on his back. I jumped off him for the TJ and then he subsequently brained him. So I think, this setup is it is advantage Private Harry for me. Again, and you're right about Jolly Star. I think I want to see her do it maybe. I for whatever reason, the gloss has just come off her a little bit. And she's won a Kingsford Smith Cup and a Newmarket last prep. Like, I don't know what it is though, Yeah,
it's hard to say. I just think because she can put in a muddling performance where it's like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. She's a tricky one, Jolly Star. And you just know that she's got the slot and that from that gate, Chris Waller's not going to get J-Mac to bust her up. You know what I mean? Like, they're not... I worry about intent with that stable a lot, and I don't think there's any intent to win this race on Saturday. She still could, but I don't think they're desperate to win it, so I don't know. Happy to take her on.
Yeah. No, it's well said. Things to be aware of as well, Drifters, is it is Newcastle Cup Day on Friday as well. So there's a ton of dual acceptors there as well. So the likes of your McHale's and the like, they have jockey bookings on the Friday. So just keep that in mind when you look through it. But mate, that's us. That's us done.
Sick. Very, very much looking forward to another pot. Should be good fun.
Yeah, get in now as I go into the darkness. But yeah, log into your NEDS app. You'll see a banner up the top. A little surprise for the first 500 of you. Could not be any easier. Get in it. Bet with the good people in NEDS. Follow us in. Support us. Gamble responsibly. And thank you very much. See you later. Bye.
You nailed it. See ya.